Hello, welcome to Thor Talk, the show all about Marvel's resident god of thunder. On this episode of Thor Talk, Thor goes to Hell, where the sons of Odin have a family reunion as the entire realm of Muspelheim seeks to conquer the realm of the dead. Plus, an old enemy returns on Thor Talk.
I am Thor the Thunderer, son of Odin, prince of Asgard, and this world is under my protection.
Thor, number 2, or number 708 if you're keeping up with the legacy numbering, was written by Jason Aaron and was published in June of 2018. In the last issue, Loki agreed to send Thor to the heart of the war, but Thor interfered with the spell, causing Loki, Thor's boat, Thor's dog Thori, and Thor's goat Toothgrinder to be taken along for the ride. They arrive in Niflheim to see Thor's brother Balder, who is now king of the dead after Hela was overthrown, and that is where our story begins. Thor and Balder have a quick reunion, but Scourge the Executioner warns them that the forces of Muspelheim will soon be upon them. And it seems he was right, as fire goblins and firepedes start to attack. Scourge fires back, and Balder tells Thor that they must move quickly, but Thor says he's not going anywhere without his boat. Loki quickly casts a spell that allows the boat to fly, and they begin to flee from the firepedes. When Thor realizes that they will not get away, he tells Toothgrinder to take the wheel, as he and Thori fight the sons of Muspel. Thor throws his latest hammer at the fire goblins, but finds that their molten blood has dissolved the hammer, so he calls for one of his spare hammers. Loki is incensed that Thor told the goat to drive instead of him, and is then hit by Thor's spare hammer as it comes out of the boat. This particular hammer splits into two hammers. "'Twas the old Thor who carried only one hammer. I'm something of a new model. Same thunder, same rage, bigger arsenal." The last of the goblins are wiped out by a large blast from Karnilla's rocket launcher. Thor is pleased to see Karnilla again and tells her how he mourned her death. He then spots his older brother Tyr, who is riding a T-Rex, and Tyr gives him a tight hug. Elsewhere, the Queen of Muspelheim, Sindr, holds a secret meeting with the tribe leaders of Niflheim. She tries to convince them to betray King Balder, and one accepts her offer. The chief of the dead murderers joins the Daughter of Surtur. In their camp, the sons of Odin, Karnilla, and Scourge plan their next move. Tyr says that the sons of Muspel are transporting a powerful weapon that they believe will turn the tide. They all agree to intercept the train carrying the weapon so they can use it against Sindr. It also seems that Thori has fallen in love with Tyr's T-Rex. Before they head out, Loki warns Thor of Tyr's allegiances, saying that death can change a man. They manage to spot the train, but Thor is already prepared. He has placed his bomb hammer on the bridge, which destroys it, causing the train to crash into the water. Thor and Tyr follow it and free the weapon inside. But the weapon is not a weapon at all. A large mass rises from the waters. It is Fenris, with Hela on his back and Thor in his mouth. And right beside Hela is Tyr, who has rejoined his former queen, as Hela proclaims that they are going to take Hel back. Well, Thor's return continues, and now that I've gotten over the fact that he's actually starring in his own book, I think I'm better equipped to give a more critical look at the series. I think my look at the first issue was a little biased given how excited I was that Thor returned. First of all, I've seen a lot of complaints about Thor's new, more jokey tone, and I can definitely see that. Jason Aaron was clearly inspired by Thor Ragnarok, more so than his previous work. But at the same time, the last time he portrayed Thor, he was a self-loathing god who couldn't accomplish anything. Another criticism is that now Thor is the god of hammers, and the only way he can do anything is to have a hammer in hand. I hate that this is the case, and that the movies seem to be able to accomplish this much, much better. Never before has Thor been so reliant on having a hammer. I mean, it would be one thing if that particular hammer was Mjolnir, but No, it seems just about any hammer will do. But at the same time, while he can't seem to accomplish anything without a hammer, at least he is accomplishing things now that he has a hammer, whereas before he seemed rather useless. So my overall thoughts are that the new Thor run is so far undeniably not one of the best, but it's also way better than anything we've gotten since Thor God of Thunder. Also, the art is definitely subpar, but this issue came out 2 weeks after the first one, instead of a month later. This means that because the art is so subpar, it's easier and faster to make, so we're going to get Thor comics faster, which is really good because Jason Aaron always drags his feet with stories. That 5-issue Unworthy Thor miniseries could have been finished in half the time. Finally, my favorite part of this issue was the reveal that Thor named his boat after his pet goat, Tooth Gnasher, who was killed by Mangog. This not only shows how much he cared for Tooth Gnasher, but also makes his refusal to leave the boat more impactful. Hopefully we'll see more things like this during the rest of Jason Aaron's run. Well, that's all for this episode of Thor Talk. If you want to keep up with and support Thor Talk, simply subscribe. You can also follow Thor Talk on Instagram at Thor Talk. Once again, I'd like to formally state that all art and video is owned by its respected companies, and I own none of it. With that said, see you next time on Thor Talk, where...
Behold in breathless wonder